to read when she was 3, and it became her favorite thing to do. She read the newspaper and book after book, drawn to stories of heroes who fought for others. She dreamt about who she might become. But Emmeline didn't have many choices because she was a girl. One night, she heard her father said it was too bad she wasn't a boy. She couldn't go to university, get a job, or even vote like her brothers. Emmeline didn't understand why. She began to read about women's rights and begged her mother to bring her to a meeting so she could learn more. There, Emmeline heard that women in England, like many other countries, were treated unfairly. They needed the right to vote in order to change things. Emmeline knew what she had to do. As soon as Emmeline finished school, she began working for women's rights. One of the leaders of the cause was a lawyer named Richard, who also believed that women should be equal to men. The two fell in love, working side by side to help women win the right to vote. Emmeline and Richard married and had a family. For many years, they tried to get voting rights for women, but nothing changed. Sadly, Richard became sick and died, leaving Emmeline with 4 children, little money, and no rights as a woman. Emmeline had to work very hard to support her family, but she didn't stop supporting women's rights. Soon, it was her daughters who begged Emmeline to take them to meetings. They asked why women had been following unfair rules for so long.
Now here.
This gave Emmeline an idea. Emmeline and her daughters became the leaders of a new group of women, a group that would stop following the rules and would fight for their rights. People called them suffragettes. Women's Social and Political Union, deeds, not words. They started by speaking out on street corners and at fairs. They stood up to protest at big meetings. Some people laughed at them, but others began to listen. The government tried to stop them, so they fought harder. They marched in the streets. They broke windows, set fires, and chained themselves to railings at the Buckingham Palace. Even though some were hurt and others arrested, more and more women joined Emmeline's group. They were braver than anyone had ever imagined. In spending many days in prison, Emmeline traveled to the US and spoke at big theaters. People gathered by the thousands to hear her. Women are human beings. She told them she would keep fighting until every woman was free to do the same things as men. Then a great war broke out, and lots of men went off to fight. Emmeline encouraged suffragettes to take over jobs that only men had done before. They were stronger than anyone had believed. Hospital, women police service. After the war, Emmeline's dream came true. Women would finally get the right to vote. Polling booth. By fighting for others, Emmeline had done what no one thought a little girl could do. She had become a hero. Polling booth, vote for women's, vote for women's. Emmeline Pankhurst, born 1858, died 1928. Emmeline Pankhurst was one of the world's most influential activists who helped British women win the right to vote. Born in Manchester, England, Emmeline was inspired at a young age by her parents' activism and went to her first meeting about women's rights, or suffrage, with her mother at the age of 14. She soon began working for suffrage, eventually marrying one of its leaders, Richard Pankhurst. When Richard died unexpectedly, Emmeline raised their 4 children and worked while continuing to fight for suffrage. Emmeline and her daughter started a new women's activist group that encouraged women to demand their rights, with deeds, not words, protesting in ways only men had before. They were often hurt and arrested, but they kept fighting, gaining support worldwide and changing the way people thought about women. During World War I, Emmeline's suffragette army stopped protesting and took jobs that men left behind, which helped the country and showed how capable women were. The British government gave all women the right to vote shortly after Emmeline died, and many other countries followed suit. Emmeline's heroism and leadership changed the minds of an entire nation and changed the lives of women forever. Want to find more about Emmeline Pankhurst? Have a read of this book she wrote about her life. Suffragette, My Own Story by Emmeline Pankhurst. If you're in England, you can even visit the Pankhurst Centre, which is the birthplace of the suffragette movement. Quarter news. Also in the Let's People Quick Dream series, Frida Kahlo, Coco Chanel, Maya Angelou, Amelia Earhart, Agatha Christie, Marie Curie, Rosa Parks, Audrey Hepburn. Thank you very much.